Good evening, you guys, weirdos. Anyway, so I am going to get the front room put together. It's still, in my mind, a work in progress. And last night the cats knocked over a Kool-Aid glass. Anthony had to pull off the tablecloth, and so there is just like caked on spots. So we're gonna clean up the table really good, and then because we're forced to kind of stay home, we are going to clean down quite a few things, including the stools. It definitely took a lot of scrubbing to get some of these spots off, but we did get them. And then we are going to, well, I'm gonna move on and go to the windows. Everything is just completely needing to be dealt with. And so we're gonna do this half of the room today and then work on the other half at a later time. So I went to look for the tablecloth because there was another one. I have two of them that fit this table, and Anthony had to go find it for me. This white bench that I painted just looks awful. I wish I hadn't painted it at this point, but Anthony's gonna give it a good scrub because it's not white. It actually just gross. And so we're gonna get some of this stuff organized and put up the right way, refill the silverware on the table, and then we will move to the other section across the way. So when I originally turned this table, Anthony wasn't home. He was gaming that night, so I'm not even sure he saw it that night or he saw it the next day, and I didn't come downstairs before he left for work, so I didn't even get to talk to him until later that night. And so we are discussing if the stuff needs to stick this way or what. We had been talking about putting the other two benches in there, but because there's bins underneath there, we ultimately decided this actually worked out really well, and we needed only to really worry about the internet box, which so far so good. We haven't had a problem, but if we had taken out the two bins in the back, then not the bins, the benches, then we'd have to put them back every time. And with the benches, if you scoot them, it loosens up the bolts. So we're going to keep it this way, but we did end up changing some stuff around. So I had some stuff on the other side of the couch that just needed to kind of be put up. And so Anthony and I are going through that stuff and deciding what needs to be kept, where it needs to be kept, and getting this stuff dealt with. And so I haven't been using the dehydrator. It actually is brand new. I've never once used it. I have two of them. The ice cream machine that Anthony just gave to me, I have used quite a few times, but with everything going on, our freezer is jam-packed with food, and so there's no way to put in the insert to it, so we can't make homemade ice cream right now. And so we're tucking these in. We can still get to them, but they're out of our way.
Glow in the dark, I can stop.
What got me to start working on this stuff was the fact that it just keeps getting cluttered. There is measuring cups. There's one that looks like a chick, and then another one that looks like, thanks Anthony, a mason jar, and they don't need to be up here because I'm worried that they're going to get knocked over. The mason jar measuring cups came from a friend, and so I don't want them to get broke, but it isn't something I readily use, and so we are going to tuck a couple more of these items underneath the table under that bench and then go from there. But as I was doing that, I also wanted to clean the top because the top of these get so dusty real quick. And then I realized it's been quite some time that I've moved them, and I need to move them to vacuum and stuff. And as I'm pulling out the boxes, I realize Anthony has another box of medication that doesn't need to be down here for one, and he doesn't need multiple. And you guys will never realize how silly I felt when we went through his medication, even the vitamins. A lot of them were out of date. as I'm cleaning these off is just gross. And the worst fact is that we had silverware and stuff up there. But we found quite a few things behind the black one, and so I'm cleaning them all out. And then what I find funny, you've been with someone so long and we have similarities, but I was thinking about flipping them, like rolling them onto their side, and I thought, oh, that's funny because the one is 9 boxes and it's a perfect square, so it's always going to. And then I kind of stood back at this point and went, oh, we could roll the black one on its side. And I didn't say anything because I was like, Anthony's going to think that's silly. And so you will see here in a minute, he's going to roll it. And I laughed and said, that's funny because I was just thinking that. But actually, I like the way it looks now. I agreed, this does look much better, and you're not reaching underneath the shelves to get silverware, and so you're not playing a guessing game. So this is what became of all of the bins. We had decided the cream colored ones, which normally have Anthony's snacks and stuff in it, and that's what we're going to do right now, is go through all the snacks and stuff, make sure nothing's really out of date. And one of them has his medication in it and vitamins, and so yes, I just poured that on the floor. But we're going to go through all of them and have the items, like we have a bin full of coffee and stuff, and get them all together in the same color as much as possible. So we ended up at first emptying 3 boxes, and we got some stuff that we do want to keep out here in a couple of them. The chip bag clips ended up being put into one because it just seems to be floating around my kitchen, and what's worse is it not only floated around my kitchen, it actually was sitting on the floor in a dollar store bin. And so I'm going to bring those out here. And then because of, like I said, because of everything that's going on, when we were able to and our store had stocked up, we went and bought a bunch of crackers, some other stuff for the kids to snack on, since they actually, as of this date that I filmed it, they were only out for 2 weeks, and now we are out for 4. So we needed to go get them a bunch of snacks, stock up on some tuna, and just stuff like that. So now it is cleaning off the table, and then we will be done. We definitely got a lot done today and a lot taken care of, which I am happy about. I definitely was feeling it that night. So thank you guys for joining us again, and we will see you next time. Love you.